Tonight on Cronkite News, immigrants and DACA students head to the state capitol to talk about the challenges they face when it comes to their education.
Plus, Arizona Schools Superintendent Tom Horne announces a partnership with a controversial university and what it could mean for students.
And the Arizona Coyotes may be on break for the All-Star game, but their impact in the community is still in full force with the Arizona Legacy Pride Hockey Association. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Denson Cortez.
And I'm Zariah Cole. Thank you for joining us.
Students from all over the state representing more than 30 high schools and colleges were at the Capitol today to lobby lawmakers about issues important to them. Ripley Simone Kennebrew talked to one group of students who particularly have concerns when it comes to the future of their education.
Aliento is an organization that says they advocate for youth and undocumented students. For them, education is more than just what they learned in school. They are fighting for access in education.
Dozens of students arrived at the Capitol professionally dressed to meet with lawmakers to plead their causes. There were three main goals of Aliento at the legislature this year. The first, revising state law to make undocumented and DACA students eligible for occupational and professional licenses.
Are their ability to get occupational licenses, especially for dreamers and undocumented students that want to go into nursing, want to go into construction, or want to go into engineering. Right now, they cannot get a license to move forward with their profession. So we're getting them to school already. Why not allow them to get that professional license if they meet all the criteria?
Another goal, making college more affordable. Jose Patino says it's heartbreaking when motivated students can't get ahead.
Because you spend 16 years of your life in public education, but also in college, and you do all-nighters and you do all this stuff, and then you see your friends on social media, on Instagram, and they're doing internships and they're working here, but you can't because you don't have that 9-digit number.
And the last, they want young people to have access to driver's licenses.
The biggest issue is driver's license because they have students who are undocumented or they have parents who they themselves are undocumented, and there's something that they're worried about every day.
Aliento hopes their presence at the Capitol today will inspire lawmakers to make changes that will impact thousands of young people like them across the state. From the newsroom, Ripley Simone Kennebrew, Cronkite News.
Arizona legislative Republicans announced today a new educational partnership for the state's school system. At a press conference today, Wednesday, Senator Jake Hoffman and Arizona Superintendent Public Instruction Tom Horne announced a new education partnership with PragerU. The organization is a nonprofit known for its videos promoting conservative viewpoints. Superintendent Horne says videos from PragerU will be available on the State Department of Education's website. PragerU's website includes videos hosted by the likes of Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens on a variety of topics, looking at economics, history, American values, all from a conservative perspective. PragerU and legislative Republicans describe this partnership as a way to give more educational options. Cheryl Rosado is all for the implementation of PragerU for her children who are homeschooled.
It was kind of refreshing to see something that is a school choice for public school students and public school parents, because a lot of parents don't agree with a lot of the gender identity ideology that is being taught in schools, but we can say we don't like it, but do we have an alternative?
Superintendent Horne says PragerU is not mandated for Arizona school districts, but is instead a resource for those who would like to learn more about it.
The Arizona Department of Water Resources has started an informational process to create a new groundwater management area in Gila Bend. The goal is to preserve term water levels in Arizona. If the plan goes through, it will be the first in over 4 decades they have established a new groundwater management area. Some of the options that are being explored include flexible groundwater protection, and the other plan proposes a basin containment area.
Last year, Governor Katie Hobbs vetoed a bill that would have made it easier for street vendors to sell foods, such as tamales and homemade salsas.
The bill has been reintroduced this year by lawmakers. Cronkite News' Gadiel Navarrete tells us what are the changes.
They call it the Tamale Bill, and this updated version has again stirred up conversation among lawmakers and street vendors on whether or not its effects would be beneficial on the long run. Sergio Vargas is a street vendor in the heart of downtown Phoenix and says he has been operating for 2 years.
I'm here every day, days when I'm well or when I'm not, days where we don't sell anything.
Originally from Guadalajara, Mexico, Vargas's business operates from sunrise to sunset. His goal is to provide for his family by selling a variety of foods.
Tenemos hot dog, tacos.
We sell tacos, quesadillas. We also do catering and other events.
Vargas's menu could be seen a shakeup due to a proposed updated legislation. Here in the capital, there is a new bill that has the potential to change what type of food street vendors can sell and where they can prepare it. And that is House Bill 2042, also known as the Tamale Bill.
The bill expands on the already legal and existing cottage food industry and allows additional ingredients to be baked, cooked, or processed and put into foods that are sold to the end user directly out of a home kitchen.
These products would need a label with the name and registration number of the food handler with the phrase, "This product was produced in a home kitchen that may process common food allergens and is not subject to public health inspections." Governor Katie Hobbs vetoed the bill last year, and in her letter, she states it fails to establish sufficient minimum standards for inspections or certification of home-based food business and could limit the ability of ADHS to investigate foodborne disease outbreaks. Vargas says he understands both sides of the issue.
Siento que ayudaría.
I feel that it would help people who want to start a new project because the hardest part and biggest fear is applying for permits.
The Tamale Bill unanimously passed the Regulatory Affairs Committee and is expected to be debated on the House floor in the coming weeks. In the newsroom, Gadi Navarrete, Cronkite News.
Coming up next, western monarch butterflies are not coming to the west during the winter like they used to. After the break, find out why monarch numbers have dropped during migration.
And the beautiful weather we've been experiencing around the valley is about to change, including lots of rain. Your weather forecast is up next.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sensei Garage,
to sports coverage,
against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to see,
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
During the winter, monarch butterflies are known for flying through Arizona and California to migrate.
However, volunteers have noticed a substantial drop in numbers this year.
Researchers say that monarch butterfly populations has decreased in western states due to their milkweed habitats being destroyed. Climate change has also been a big factor that has affected these insects' migration.
Well, it's been unreasonably warm here in the valley over the last few days, but that's all about to change.
Max Williams joins us now from the Cronkite Weather Center to tell us what we can expect.
Thanks, guys. Well, as we look ahead towards this evening's temperatures, we can expect similar to the past couple of days. It's warm in the middle of the day, and we don't see a lot of change as we head into the evening, as it only gets down to about 68 degrees around 10 p.m. But let's look into the future. The low temperatures for tomorrow, still relatively nice, 53 degrees down here in Phoenix, 49 degrees down in Tucson. And as we look towards the coldest temps, we can turn our attention towards the usual culprits, 27 degrees up in Flagstaff, 30 in the Grand Canyon. But I want to take a look at the highs for tomorrow, specifically in the valley. 75 degrees in Phoenix, not quite as nice as the 80 that we saw earlier this week, but relatively consistent temperatures throughout. We're only going to see it get as low as 68 degrees in the valley up in Cave Creek. Same goes for Whitman up north, but that's all about to change as we look at the precipitation over the next 72 hours. A big system is moving in from west to east, and that brings a lot of green. That's going to represent the rainfall that can be expected, with the darker shades representing a heavier rainfall. And up north, we've got some snow as well as we reach those colder temps. So what does that do for the temperature in the next few days? Well, as we can see, it's a big drop off. That 75-degree high that you see on Thursday is going to plummet all the way down to 62 degrees on Friday, and Saturday, 63 degrees is your high as we see precipitation starting tomorrow afternoon and heading into midday Saturday. Thank goodness that Waste Management Phoenix Open and Super Bowl is saved for next weekend as we hope for some better conditions. It'll dry up a little bit on Sunday, but as we head into next work week, definitely going to be colder than what we saw the last couple of days, with temperatures getting as low as 62 degrees on Thursday next week. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Max Williams.
Now we look at news from around the world. Iran says it will, quote, decisively respond to an attack by the U.S.
The comment comes as President Joe Biden linked Iran to attack a military base in Jordan.
3 U.S. soldiers were killed in Sunday's attack and dozens more injured. President Biden has said Iran-backed militant groups are behind it, and the U.S. has signaled that it plans to strike back, though it is not clear when.
Meanwhile, Republicans have moved one step closer to impeaching Alejandro Mayorkas, the Homeland Security Secretary. House Republicans voted today to advance 2 impeachment articles, and it passed along party lines. They accused Secretary Mayorkas of failing to comply with the law when it comes to his enforcement of border policy. Secretary Mayorkas says it is Congress that did not provide the legal authority to fix the issues at the border.
Swenson with today's Cronkite Sports Report. After the break, ASU hockey is back and ready for action after a small break in their season. They are set to take on Lindenwood this weekend and make a push toward the playoffs.
What Cronkite News means to me is opportunity.
We do news right at Cronkite News, serving a community ethically, honestly, and truthfully.
And we can provide a necessarily different angle, different voice for those people that really need it.
The students, they have a lot of passion for journalism.
I get to do a lot of stories about the Hispanic community.
And we have access to cover all of these sorts of events and get media coverage of all these different personalities and athletes, and that's just a huge thing.
But it's also a chance for people here to be humanized. Individuals of all walks of life.
Cronkite News will help take the next generation of journalists onto their next careers.
I am old enough to remember Walter Cronkite.
We're putting a lot of pride on his name because we are practicing a lot of the things that he did.
I think he'd be smiling from ear to ear.
I.
We are Cronkite.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication's Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Kevin Malater.
And I'm Riley Swenson. Horse racing in Arizona is back as Turf Paradise reopened for business this week. Kevin, there was a lot of concern the longtime racetrack was going out of business for good.
Yeah, Riley, many in the industry are breathing a sigh of relief that the track is back in action. It will be a shortened season, but as Cronkite News reporter Elia Harriet reports, it is better than nothing.
Anticipation filled the air as spectators made their way back to Turf Paradise. The horse racing track was on the verge of shutting down for good after longtime owner Jerry Sims announced his retirement last fall and failed to secure a new owner. Sims agreed to return and salvage what's left of the racing season. Turf Paradise General Manager Vince Francia knows the impact the track has made on the valley.
The racetrack has been here since 1956. It's the first of the sports franchises here in Phoenix, and so it has a history. And when people heard that, gee, they could go out of business or it's going to close, we got a reaction. At the same time, when they heard we're opening back up, the reaction was all positive.
And it was a huge relief to trainers like Justin Evans, who considers Turf Paradise a second home.
It's heartbreaking to hear the news that we weren't going to run because we looked so forward to it, and then when we got the news that it was all coming together, it was like, everybody really made it happen.
No one was more eager for this opening day than the jockeys, who finally had the chance to get back on the saddle.
Well, everybody's excited. Opening day and anything, everybody's excited. And everybody can get back to making money now. Hopefully they can continue. And it'd be nice for years and years to come.
To keep that spirit going, Evans has this message for those that have never been to a live horse race: to take a chance on the sport. You might just fall in love.
When you watch the 8th race today and you see those class horses that have made a lot of money and you see them fight to the wire, it's like watching Mahomes drive for the end zone. I mean, it's worth coming out to watch. And if you'll give it that opportunity, I promise you'll be hooked.
In Phoenix, Elia Harriet, Cronkite News.
Fans can head to the racetrack off Bell Road from now until May 4th to watch the live meets. It will operate on a Monday through Thursday schedule.
If you had to vote for the most improved team in the NHL this season, look no further than the Coyotes. The team has set themselves up for meaningful hockey in the second half of the season as they're in the playoff hunt at the halfway mark. They did lose momentum, dropping their last 3 before this weekend's All-Star break, but injuries have been a factor, which makes it a good time to take some time off.
Yeah, 100%. I think, with the grind of the season and the injuries that we've been going through, and trying our best to stay in that wild card hunt, and we need this break big time mentally, just to get away from it all and get the bodies feeling right. We have a lot of injured guys, and come back after the break and try and make a real playoff push here.
While Coyotes players get a break, the organization continues to make its mark here in the Valley through partnerships, one being the Arizona Legacy Pride Hockey Association. Cronkite News reporter Ari Wall has more on Alpha, which welcomes people of all skill levels and backgrounds to play hockey in an LGBTQ+ inclusive community.
Hockey is for everyone. The Arizona Legacy Pride Hockey Association, or ALPHA, upholds this message by creating an opportunity for everyone to play hockey. Matthew Spang Marshall, the president and founder of ALPHA, didn't grow up playing team sports and now creates a safe space at the rink.
I think it's very important to create these spaces for us just to educate and have an opportunity and to grow the sport, because honestly, that's what I've done here and that's what my team has done here, and it's amazing.
1, 2, 3,
Historically, members of the LGBTQ+ community have experienced prejudice in locker room settings, but Alpha welcomes all and allows players to be themselves.
It's one of my favorite experiences. It's what I look forward to at the end of every week. Every Saturday night, I'm like, yes, I get to go to Alpha. I get to go play hockey with people that get me. Nowhere else I'd rather be, for sure.
For Robin Leaño, she had no experience playing hockey before coming to Alpha, but the positive experience has changed her life.
I consider it like life-saving, because it's as a trans woman of color, I feel like I don't have a whole lot to begin with in finding a community. We'll bond over being queer, loving hockey. It's the best thing in the world.
Alpha was founded in 2021, and from then until now, the Arizona Coyotes have been there to support every step of the way. What started out as just a small group has now turned into something much larger.
We were able to subsidize the gear costs, which allowed them to expand to what they are now, as long as we could provide the resources. There was a community, and we found it. Every year, we're still finding more and more individuals because we have that option for it to be affordable.
The Coyotes offer Alpha the opportunity to appear at events, and it's been a partnership that Spang Marshall is very grateful for.
If I call any of my contacts and I'm like, hey, I need some volunteer coaches to come help me run this clinic over the summer, they send them out. No questions asked.
In the future, Alpha hopes to continue to find new members and grow the game of hockey for all in the Valley. In Mesa, Ari Wall, Cronkite News.
Alpha plays at the Community Ice Center in Mesa and has programming throughout the spring. They're also partnering with Cactus City's Softball League to host their first hockey tournament in April. To college hockey, the Sun Devil men's team is coming off their bye week, returning to the ice this weekend. They have 10 games remaining in their push for a playoff berth. ASU comes in on the playoff bubble this weekend and has some work to do if they want to be a part of the 16-team NCAA postseason tournament. The Sun Devils have 10 games remaining in the regular season, and head coach Greg Powers knows every game counts.
The only thing we can do is play what's in front of us, right? And worry about what we can control. Our guys understand what's at stake, and the whole taking anyone lightly at this point with what we have to gain, it won't happen.
The GCU men's basketball team is in the midst of a historic season, off to a 19-2 start and sitting atop the WAC conference. A big reason for their success has been local product Duke Brennan. The sophomore forward came to GCU this season after spending his freshman year at Arizona State. With the Lopes, Brennan has shined in a new role as a starter, highlighted by his performance this past weekend at Stephen F. Austin, where he pulled down 14 rebounds in a 53-51 victory. Hailing from Chandler, Brennan says being able to stay close to home is one of his favorite things about the transition.
Being able to play at ASU last year and then moving just right down the road to GCU, my family can come to every single one of these games. I have so much support, and that's what I love about it is I can see my family at these games. They love watching me, and just be able to put a smile on my dad's face at the end of the day, it makes the whole year for me. So.
Basketball in the Valley is the talk of the town, but the Suns are currently out of town.
Yeah, Riley, they're in the midst of a 7-day road trip and are taking on Kevin Durant's old team, the Brooklyn Nets.
And it's not just a return for Durant, though, as the Suns will once again face off against Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, who both were key parts of the Durant trade. The Suns are also looking to tie the season series against the Nets, as they did drop their last matchup to Brooklyn back in December. That game marked the debut of the big three of Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant, where they were all healthy and on the floor.
Yeah, it's not easy playing on the road, but the Suns are trying to pull themselves up in the standings after their slow start to the season.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Suns to get back to the Valley on February 8th when they take on Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. That's all the time for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Let's send it back to the desk.
It's a mystery nearly 90 years in the making.
So many people want to know what really happened to Amelia Earhart.
Well, we may be one step closer to that answer, thanks to a recent discovery by deep sea explorers. That story is next.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
And entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
I'm Chef Mark Tarbell. Welcome to Check Please Arizona. You picked this place. Tell us why.
It was just so cozy.
Anything you order there is going to be phenomenal.
I had the meatballs.
Garlicky in the absolute best way.
They were amazeballs. I was that person that went up to the salsa bar 4 times.
Not what I was expecting. Join me for the 10th season of Check Please Arizona. I'm getting hungry.
Find out what's on Arizona PBS at azpbs.org/schedule.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
It's one of the world's most intriguing mysteries. Just what happened to Amelia Earhart?
Well, we may be one step closer to solving the mystery. A deep-sea exploration company thinks it may have found Earhart's missing plane. They've released these sonar images of what could be a plane on the ocean floor, 16,000 feet below the surface. Earhart and her plane disappeared nearly 87 years ago while attempting to fly around the world.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. Thank you for joining us.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.